Hi everybody, welcome to my video on mental health. So if you've been following my last couple videos, I've been doing a series of 3 videos to show the foundations of physical, mental, and spiritual health, which make up holistic health. So this is the last in the series of 3. I kind of did the same thing on my blog post if you're following there. So this is Mental Health Awareness Week, so kind of fits in perfectly with this video. And the stuff I'm going to talk about today is from my daily checklist, which is right here. And if you are on my email list, you have this, you got this for free. And if you want this for free, you can sign up for my email list and get this, along with the checklists for the physical health, the spiritual health, and a couple other ones in there too. So that's kind of a the link will be in the description if you are interested in that. So this checklist is just a way to keep track. It's got, you know, Sunday through Saturday, so you can put a check mark for each thing that, you know, you do that day. And these are all things to help your mental health. And they're kind of broken down into 3 or 6 categories, 6 sections of categories. So the first one I'm going to go over is stress reduction. And there's a couple things that you can do to reduce your stress. And I know that a lot of people have massive amounts of stress that you just can't get rid of because it's whatever, your job, your relationship, your life situation. But there are things you can do to keep the stress levels down. So I'm just going to go over a couple of them here, but just keep in mind, whatever you are interested in, whatever you love, just make sure to include those things as well. So listening to music is, you know, most people like music, but music is really relaxing when it's the right kind. Even if it's fast and heavy kind of music, if it's something you like, it'll do the trick. So music's always been a really good stress reducer. So just listen to more music. And dancing is another one that goes along with music. It's kind of hard to be stressed out and sad when you're dancing, especially to your favorite music. So I highly recommend just throwing on some headphones or cranking the speakers up, just playing like your top 10 favorite songs of all time, and you will definitely feel less stressed afterwards. So getting a massage is another one. I actually have never gone to a masseuse, but they are proven to reduce stress. So that's something I have to put on the list. Taking a bubble bath. Now this is a nice before bed kind of thing to wind down. You can take one any time of the day, really. And it's really good to have candles lit and the right essential oils in there with you. Another one is kind of a common sense one, and most people probably already do this: watching funny shows or movies, because laughing has been proven to reduce your stress levels. So it might be hard to get yourself to that point, though. If you're having a bad day and you don't want to laugh, it's maybe not at that moment, but at least don't go to bed without laughing. It heals. And the other one on this list for stress reduction is going outside in nature. And this is probably the most effective one on this list, other than dancing and listening to music, of course. Because going outside just takes away all of your worries, because at the moment you are just in nature. You can feel the breeze on your face, you can feel the sun on your face, you can see the trees blowing in the wind, you can see flowers, you can see other people. It's just very healing and very easy to do and free. Of course, if you live in a cold climate, which I do, so it's tough in the wintertime. So just get out as much as you can in the summer and spring and fall. And the next one on this list is meditation. And that's kind of a given. Most people know that meditation is good for you. Um, Most people haven't tried it or been successful at it, which is unfortunate because it's easier than it sounds, and it doesn't require you to do it exactly the way that you probably think. You don't have to sit with your legs crossed. You don't have to do the hand things. You don't have to completely empty your mind. It's not, I mean, that's the goal. I mean, that's what most people aim for. But honestly, just sitting, just being still, breathing slowly, breathing mindfully, and listening. It's kind of like the opposite of praying, where you're asking the higher power to help you. Meditation is more like you're listening to what the higher power is telling you in return. So that's a very, very, very effective and recommended thing for everybody to do. Another way, if you can't meditate, is to use the guided ones or music or binaural beats. And you can find these all over YouTube. Just search for binaural beats, which are where the two sides of one ear has a different than the other. And what it does is it makes your brain connect the neurons together, which makes your whole brain work better and puts you into a state of, I think it's alpha, where your brain is relaxed and you're more receptive. And those are the good times to do affirmations, to assess what you want in life. So that's a really important one too. Like I said, there's so many ways to meditate without actually doing it the way that you think you have to. As long as even just listening to music that's repetitive and steady, like drumming. Steady drumming is always, for thousands of years, been the way that people put themselves into a trance. So things like that all counts as meditation. And the next one on this list, a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this, but it's ending toxic relationships. If you have an abusive partner, if you have friends that are toxic, either stop spending time with them or drastically cut down the time that they are in your life. It sounds harsh, but you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So do you really want to be around people that aren't good for you? And the other part of the toxic thing is healing your own trauma. When you heal your own trauma, then you will not attract the people that are toxic. When you're mentally, spiritually, and physically healthy, you're going to want those same people in your life. So healing yourself is always crucial. It always should be first. And this is where, like, I have a mental health workbook that I sell, and it's actually my biggest seller. But the disclaimer is, if you have serious trauma in your childhood, if you have serious mental issues, those are the kinds of things where you do want to see a therapist, and take care of yourself first. So once you heal the trauma, I actually do have a couple sheets in the workbook on healing your trauma. It's for people that maybe if you can't afford therapy or want to try an inexpensive way to do it at home first. So yourself comes first, and then the other relationships will fall into place. Moving on to the next one, we have balance. So balance means a lot of things. Obviously, work-life balance. A lot of people out there are workaholics. Um, it's understandable sometimes if you need two jobs to get by, but there are some people that work it just takes over their life, and it's the most important thing in their life. And we're not here to work. I mean, work should um, it should help us survive, but it should not be the reason why we're here. So, finding a work life balance, um, making time for loved ones, making time for sleep. And that's something that I can't even stress how important that is for mental health and physical health. Because sleep is when the body is detoxing, it's when you're rejuvenating. So, the last thing you want is to skimp on sleep. And, a lot of young people say, I can get by with 4 or 5 hours. Sure, when you're young. Um, and a lot of even older people sometimes say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I just cringe when I hear that. Um, because they don't know what they're doing to their body until it's too late. And, sleep it's fun. It's comfortable. If you have the right sleeping environment, you're going to love sleep, and you're going to can't wait to go to sleep. Um, and then the last one for the balance section is spending less money on things. So this kind of brings me into the subject of minimalism. Having less things is obviously it's less clutter for the mind to look at, less physical things, and that helps your brain be less cluttered. Um, so there's something to that. It's very healthy mentally to be a minimalist. And going back to the experiences thing, it's so much more rewarding, so much more fulfilling to have experiences than it is to look around a room full of stuff. So keep the balance right there. I mean, you can still buy things, you can still have your collections of things that mean a lot to you and your sentimental things, but try not to fall into the trap of going shopping and coming home with bags full of new items that you might not even use, and you're going to be much more happier taking a vacation than going shopping, and it'll last longer. You'll never ever forget special moments that you've had on vacations, but you're probably going to forget the shirt you bought a couple months ago, unless it's your favorite shirt, sure. But in general, you're probably going to end up giving away a lot of the things that you buy or forgetting you have them. So, the next section is mind expansion. I really like this one because I think everybody needs to do this more. I think this is one of those things that it's underrated. And what I mean by mind expansion is learning, continuing to learn forever, like growing in every way. Another thing on in this section is hobbies, exploring new hobbies and making time for the hobbies that you like. Um, so as far as learning goes, there's seminars, workshops, classes, online courses, webinars everywhere on the internet for free. This is what I do most of my time when I'm not actually creating products or writing blog posts or making videos or spending time in nature. I've got a backlog of videos of seminars, webinars, courses, um, because learning, it keeps your brain, I don't know what the word is, but it keeps your brain young, maybe. It keeps your cells in your brain firing. It's very healthy to learn things. Think of it as a body of water. So you don't want to be like a pond, because a pond just sits still and gets stagnant and gets gross. But a river, which is what you want to be, is always flowing. It's always changing. It's always moving. So try to be more like a river and less like a pond. And never stop learning. Never stop making new skills. Never stop exploring new hobbies. Unless you're like me and you have too many and there's not enough time for all of them. That's one story. But another story is the person that they spend so much time watching TV that in the 3 hours that they watch TV, you could have learned a new song on the guitar, or something like that. You could have created a new thing. And before I get to the creative section, which is the last one, another part of mind expansion is doing puzzles to keep your mind sharp. And these, I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm almost positive that it's been proven that puzzles help prevent mental diseases such as dementia, or I'm not quite sure about Alzheimer's, but doing creative puzzles to keep your mind sharp is healthy, and we should all do that a little more. So the last one on this list is creativity, and this one's great too because it's all fun stuff. Learning a new instrument, drawing, painting, making crafts, inventing something. It's so easy these days to put your stuff out there. It's easy to start a blog. It's easy to start a podcast. It's easy to write a book. I have a book on Amazon, and people were like, "You actually have a book? How'd you do that?" I'm like, anybody can write a book. If you have Microsoft Word, or even there's some free, maybe not free, but there's some programs that I think Draft to Digital is one of the ones that I think you can actually write your book on for free. And then you just submit it and it's out there. Everybody's got a story in them, or everybody has information to share. Everybody has knowledge up here that can be out there. And that's one of the things that I'm really adamant about. I really push my friends to let their creative side out and do the things you want to do. It's so easy in this time. So anything creative. So it's not only good for the mind, but it's, like I said, it'll help you as a whole. It'll help you mentally and spiritually eventually. So that's the end of this list. And like I said, I'm not trying to promote my workbook in this video, so I'm not going to say any more about that, but the link is in there in this description. But mental health is so important, and we all need to work on it more than we are. Unless you're a saint and you're just completely 100% mentally perfect, then you could benefit from more of this kind of thing. So I really hope that you got something out of this video and maybe learned a few more tips or ideas that you want to try. That is my goal, is to help everybody improve their health. And mental health is just as important as physical, because the mind and the body are connected. So if you like this video and got any benefit out of it, give it a like. And if you don't want to miss any more of my future videos, click that little bell icon, and then you'll be notified whenever I make new ones. And like I said, if you want these checklists for free, you can subscribe to my email list. My website is holisticlifestyleguide.com, and the link will also be in the description. So thank you so much for watching.